We are back. Okay. This is somewhat of a different departure for my first guest tonight. I consider Merv Griffin a friend and a colleague in this business, and Merv has just wrapped it up. I guess his last show was shown on the air tonight, earlier, after 23 years on television. And I'll tell you, in this business, anybody who can hang around for 23 years has got something, and they've got a loyal audience. So we thought, since his final show was tonight, since Merv has never appeared on this show before as a guest, it might be nice to have him come out and talk a while. Would you welcome Mr. Merv Griffin? Now, as if you didn't have enough money, you get another residual from your theme song. Good thinking.
Ooh, that was good.
You beat me to it. You beat me to it.
Ooh.
I start doing that.
You're thin.
Are you conscious?
Well, I mean, that steams me.
Are you conscious of your little mannerisms? You do them all the time, and I start picking up on them the past year or so, where you go, ooh, I've got, you know, I do this, I play with the pencils, I do this a lot.
Yeah.
But when we're performing, we are so unconscious of it. But the ooh.
And sometimes,
Yeah. You want to hear your laugh, what you do when somebody says something, and you're being so polite sometimes. Sometimes they don't say anything really funny at all, but you react like they just said something. So just say anything, and I'll do any of
yeah, so, isn't it funny? Doc Severinsen looks like a communist Don Johnson.
Ooh. You do. Oh, yeah.
Well, see, I think...
You didn't know that, huh?
No, but after all these years of doing the show, you do pick up little strange ticks.
Yeah, don't
You know, Rich Little counted yours. You have 28.
That's what he said once.
Yeah.
He came out and did a whole bunch of things, and I watched it and went crazy.
But they are fun.
Your last show is?
Tonight.
It was shown tonight.
You win.
What?
I say you win. 23.
There was a time when we were on opposite each other. You were on, Dick Cavett was on, and you had 3 shows at 11:30 on ABC, CBS, and NBC, which made it a little muddled.
It was
for
strange.
all of us.
We all were, I mean, we were going over to Sardi's and pulling guests, you know, out of the dining room. And if we'd see somebody in the phone booth, you'd say, be on the Merv Griffin show. The night it really all happened was the night, I don't know if you're aware of it, Jerry Lewis made all 4 shows and never told any of us.
Oh, yeah, he made the rounds.
He made the rounds and never told us. And I went to the staff the next day and I said, we got to leave town. You know, it's...
How did you feel? You know, it's a long time. It's a lot, thousands and thousands of shows.
Yeah.
You had to have, I know you have other things you want to do, but there has to be some mixed emotions.
Terrible.
When you close something like that up.
It hit me, I think, about a week before the close, after I had said, I'm going to leave.
Yeah.
And the audience applauded. I said...
You don't know how to read that either, do you? Yeah.
Oh. I said, well, okay. And a week before the last show, it hit me. And I did a strange thing. I got in my new white Corvette, and...
I won't.
Same one?
Yeah.
They're parked together out there.
Are we
Yeah.
parked together?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
My dreams have come true.
In fact, on your way home tonight, I can phone you. You have a phone.
Good. Give me a call. Yeah.
Ooh. Was it good, John?
Ooh. Good.
So I did a strange thing. I got in the car and I started driving, which was wonderful.
Just to clear the head?
However, I ended up way out in the desert in the dark, finding on a map my way to a thing called Laughlin, Nevada. Have you ever heard of it?
No.
Have you ever heard of Laughlin, Nevada?
No.
Have you? Someone once said, because I love Las Vegas, you do too, it is the new Las Vegas. Well,
Never heard of it.
I know. I drove for miles, hundreds of miles, and suddenly at 11 o'clock at night, I came up over a hill, and there it was, the whole Colorado River and all of the lights and the fantasy and the hotels of Las Vegas. And it was super. And I went in and played blackjack and got myself together, got in the car, came back home, did a lot of thinking, said...
All by yourself?
All by myself. I said, I now can handle it.
Yeah.
Right.
What did you say to your audience the last show?
I said, I'm going to say something I've never had the opportunity for 23 years on this show. I will not be right back after this message. Yeah. And I said, that's all, folks.
That's a long run. You know,
Yeah.
I know on your show tonight, which we played earlier, of course, on this show, you had a lot of clips of people who've been on your show. I'm sure a lot of them have been on this show and been on a lot of other shows, because in this business, a lot of the guests, of course, make the same shows. So you brought one clip tonight of somebody who I adored, Freddie DeCordova adored. Freddie worked for him, directed his show, and he probably had one of the greatest influences on me of any entertainer, which was Jack Benny. You brought a little snippet from Jack.
But I got to explain it. Yeah. I asked him possibly the dumbest question that anybody could ever ask, because a lot of times I am so awed by the guests that I say dumb things. Ooh. I don't do that. This one was to Jack Benny. I just didn't know how to handle him, and as you will see, I asked him a question, and he responds. Do you want to see it?
Sure.
This is my favorite.
Watch the monitor. Here's a question of Jack Benny.
Yeah.
George Burns?
Yes.
Terrible things.
The worst one I ever heard was when the late Jeanette MacDonald
Well, that's the same thing.
was singing at her home after a dinner party, a few friends.
And George Burns came over to me and says, if you laugh when she sings, it'll be awful.
They carried you out, I heard that.
No, and then he stood in back of me, and I knew he was standing there. You can imagine what happened to me, and I'm sitting there, and why would I laugh at Jeanette MacDonald singing?
But did you?
Unless this guy would, well, it would have been beeped out anyway.
Yeah. Do you remember your first laugh on a stage?
That's the silliest question.
God, the only man in the world.
Who would dare do that?
The only performer in the world who could get away with that.
Yeah.
Just stand and look at you and gut it out and stand there for... He could have probably done that another minute and it would have kept building.
The day I knew I was getting ready to quit, because there were no more questions, and I had really run out. And Sophia Loren was a guest, and I was stunned. And I did a lot of staring at her, and she went right on. And finally she said, you realize I am 50 years old. And the audience went, whoa. They did. And they all went, whoa, 50. And I said, is everything 50? And then I knew my time was up.
It was time.
I mean,
it's time to get in the Winnebago.
yeah, get in the Winnebago.
We'll be right back. Thank you, Doc. Wow. We're back. Woo! We're talking with Merv. When are you and Ava Gabor going to get married?
Tuesday.
Tuesday?
No. They have to space them. One just got married.
I just thought I would throw that out, too. You have been, as they say...
When are you and Alexis getting married?
Oh, gosh. Yeah, but you've been, as they say, keeping company with Ava for some time. And is it platonic, or is there more of a...
What's platonic mean?
Just a friendly...
We're both on Pluto waters?
No.
We've known each other a long time.
I know that. I'd love to see you struggle. You see, you did it again.
But that's it.
See? Okay, I'll get off of that. We have quite a bit in common, strangely enough. We both worked in radio.
Right.
Which
station were you?
I was in Omaha, and then the local station in Omaha. And then came out here. We both did a game show.
Right. You did Who Do You Trust?
Who Do You Trust?
Which was originally called
Do You Trust Your
Wife? But they changed it on account of you.
Yeah.
And I did Play Your Hunch.
That's right. Yeah. And then we both did a show from 6B in
we started the
New York City.
same day, same year, same studio.
We both
And
had-
we would be even in years. And we probably are if you count all your vacations. Right?
You came here to get all this out of your system.
No.
We did both did a little stint on Broadway. You were in The Moon is...
No Moon is Blue, I did. I was in Finian's Rainbow on Broadway.
I was in Tunnel of Love for a while on Broadway. I only had one excursion into the movies.
Yeah, well, I had, unfortunately, more than that, but it could have been. We were going to have a film festival, a Merv Griffin film festival on my show, and when they put all of my appearances together, it ran 4 minutes.
Really?
Yeah, out of 7 movies.
Is this picture here still from one of those
Lordy.
pictures?
Yeah. See, that's the wrong way to kiss.
What is this?
That's Katherine Grayson and me in So This Is Love.
So This Is Love.
Yeah.
I made a movie with Connie Francis called Looking for Love.
See?
And they transferred it to flammable nitrate stock.
Did they?
That was the only picture I ever made, but you made more than that.
Well, I did. I was a stock player at Warner Brothers, so I did Cattletown, A Boy from Oklahoma, 3 Sailors and a Girl. But they were little cameos, you know.
You see, now I never sang with a big band. You sang, of course, with Freddie Martin.
Yeah, but you play drums.
Yeah, but I never did the big band thing.
Yeah, we're both tall and thin.
And now
They're
we're
vicious
both
here,
tall.
aren't they? Yeah.
And now Coca-Cola, and it was in all the pictures.
We both worked with Don Quixote.
That's right. Don
The
Quixote was
president
now the
of
president
Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola, worked on in WW in Omaha. He did a show called Coffee Counter. We both started in television and back then.
No, I work for him.
Yeah, but now your company was purchased by Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola.
For a real big taste. You, as you would say, you're really loaded, aren't you?
Yeah.
Well,
they tell you that, see, but you never see it.
okay, get out of here. What are you talking about? You never see it.
You don't see it. They buy the company, right? But do they come and stack the money on your desk?
Well,
They say to
wouldn't have
you-
a big enough desk to stack that. You're talking. What are you talking about?
They say we wired it to your
Sure,
bank.
Sure.
So I investigated. I said, what do you mean you wired that to my bank? Evidently, in some bank somewhere, there is a little man who, if they wire the money, gets the money and moves it over to your side, right?
It's all paperwork. Anyway, it was very nice. Why not?
Well, there's
spent a lot of
mergers. Why
time.
don't you
Why not?
merge?
Well, I told you once I did a joke tonight about Bartles and James with the takeover, and I mentioned once when it first came out that Yoo-Hoo was trying to take over by my company, and you sent me a 6-pack. How many of you remember Yoo-Hoo, the chocolate drink?
That's the
Showed
kind
up
of
at my
crowd.
office a 6-pack of Yoo-Hoo,
Yeah.
which I still have up there.
Dr. Brown's celery tonic is looking for a merger.
Yeah. No, what are your plans? You mentioned to me when we had dinner together a few weeks ago that you might do a show based on the big band era and with new music from the old Coconut Grove in Los Angeles. Is there anything happening with that?
Well, no, it's not from the old Coconut Grove.
I thought-
No. When I first started, I had a band. Cal Jader was my drummer. We went to school together, and we went out and played. Jobs. First job was a Coconut Grove in Santa Cruz, California. Second job, no, really. That'll ruin the demographics of the audience. Then the second job was with Freddie Martin, the Coconut Grove in Hollywood. My first hit record with him was I've Got a Lovely Bunch of Coconuts.
I've got a lovely bunch of coconuts.
So I figured we call it the Coconut Ball.
How many of you remember? I did not this. Let me find
Oh,
out.
now this is
How many?
embarrassing. What I do-
I remember it. I remember this song. I can sing it for you, and I can give you the melody. I've got a lovely bunch of coconuts.
That's very good.
Is that it?
That's very. You were a fan of mine when you were a little kid?
No. I just remember that awful song.
What? B flat. Dum ba dum ba dum. Down at an English fair, one evening I was there, when I heard a showman shouting underneath the flare, I've got a lovely bunch of coconuts. There they are standing in the row. Big ones, small ones, some as big as your head. You give them a twist, a flick of the wrist, that's what the showman said.
Well, there's a.
For more money, I would finish.
Of course. There's definitely a music video in that. We'll take a break. We'll be right back.